All right, we're live. Let's see how this works tonight. So, we were supposed to come together and have a conversation with my cousin, but he forgot something very important today, so he's off doing his anniversary. Evidently, he put on his calendar that he had today off, and he asked for a few months ago, and he put us in there and forgot why he had taken the day off. So,
It happens.
why am I?
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So
He's a busy
tonight,
guy.
we originally didn't even think Sir Corey was going to be able to join us tonight. So I'm glad to see Corey was able to come.
Yeah. Just worked out that way.
Oh, yeah. So,
Yeah.
hi. So, anyway, since we have you tonight, how's your campaign going? Have you had any progress on that?
Facebook is up and going, and my push to give to donate is up and going. And so if you ever, anybody in the listening audience want to help support me in this effort, I will greatly appreciate it. I need funds for running ads, um, campaign posters, and all those good things, and help move move the message forward. Yeah, and it's a lot to do.
What surprised me about this is how you always think of like campaign funds as being kind of loose, but there's a lot of rules, a whole bunch of rules around it.
Yeah,
Uh,
there is.
I never realized like how many rules there are.
Um, you have to meet deadlines to turn in different campaign finance information, and if you don't, then you can get fined, significant fines, and it's
Really?
daily. Yes. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research and trying to figure this stuff out. Pre, so not all campaigns are, not, yeah, campaigns run this way. I know for mine, you can give up to $6,200 by the uh, primary election, and then you can give another $6,200 during the general election. So you can give a total of $12,400
Hmm.
um, throughout the election cycle. And it can be individual or corporate. So you can't give more as a corporate or individual than what is allotted. And then if you give over, I think it's $99, and you have to have exactly where it comes from. What the occupation is, name, address, phone number, all that good stuff.
Occupation?
Yeah.
That's
So
that's crazy. That's like twice as bad as it is in Texas. I'm not. I mean, it's strict. Like it's a monthly reporting. You said daily? Well, you obviously
um,
track it daily, but when do you have to submit? Should be every month, right?
every month,
Yeah.
it looks the 13th is the next time that it has to be
Yeah.
reported. Sorry.
And it's all subject to audit.
Yeah.
It
So
just
every
puts
month.
it.
Yep.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, and like it's kind of if you don't have the right coverage, the right connections, you'll get audited. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
why
And
not?
then
It's
if I do get it audited, I have a campaign finance manager that will be taking care of all those things for me on my behalf. But that's going to
You
cost.
yes.
And everything is in this realm cost. So it's in a different idea and ideology. You can't write this stuff off on your taxes,
No.
but yet it's considered a 501.
Yeah.
So I don't pay taxes on it. So it's a different animal than I've done for my 501c3, the Christian firm. So I'm learning a lot of different lessons that's coming up with this, and who to talk to, what to talk about. And it took a while for me to get the Facebook up and running took a little while for me to get ANDOT, which is the platform that's taking donations. They also do church based and other 501c type stuff,
Oh,
and so
okay.
they have all things built in for the giving. I learned that and just had to ask questions, more and more questions, and the answers do come. So, and then we have another guy working on the web page. Supposed to be working on it today, get it all up and running. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the end result of that. And then more things to do. Yeah. So this is a push, 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 and try to figure things out, and then take a couple steps back and figure out, hey, how do I undo this? And
Yeah.
and who do I talk to next?
Yep.
And then Saturday I go down and I learn more about campaign management and all that kind of stuff. So when I do push through the primary, general election, all that kind of stuff, I will be ready and have more knowledge about this. The great thing is I don't have someone that I'm running against as another Republican, and the person that I'm running against for the general election, she doesn't have it either. So it'd be the general election where all the push is going to be probably happen. So it's
Big time.
quite an ordeal. And then finding the phone numbers, I just got that information Monday, all the phone numbers and all that kind of stuff, my district, and then start to figure out on a map how to attack this whole thing so that I can get my name out there and just go, go, go.
Are there any do they have debates kind of pre-scripted, or is it all? I mean, obviously it's all optional. Like people don't have to debate, but is it there like a tradition or custom of that?
That's a very good question.
Because that's how you cut through a lot of walls
Yeah.
if you can make that happen.
Yeah. We'll find out later on that one.
Yeah.
And once volunteers are up and going and money's flowing in, uh, that'll be the next thing on my mind.
Yeah.
That was probably going to be sometime after primary, which is in June, I believe.
Oh,
June 27, I think it is.
okay. Yeah, we just had ours, so I assumed that you guys already hadn't done, but June, that's late.
No, Texas is early.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, earlier than all the other states, from what I've been told, hearing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Well, yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
by the way,
that's
we are live, so if you guys want to ask us questions, feel free to ask any questions because we are available.
And if it's
Send
a
us a-
question we don't know, we will be honest and open about that. And we can maybe look it up or whatever else. And just if it's about all the election process and all that kind of stuff, I may not know it all. Yeah, it's pretty
no,
intense.
but yeah, but questions drive us to learn and get better.
Oh yeah,
So it's
Yeah.
good.
yeah. I talked to my my finance campaign guy, and I was like, "Hey, this is what I've been doing. This is what I've been setting up. This is what I've been putting out." And he goes, "Wait a minute, you're new to this, right?" Yeah, been doing a lot of reading and research. And he goes, "Yeah, you're doing really well." It's like,
You are. You are. We had a phone call earlier today, and I won't talk about it, but it's very impressive. Well done.
yeah. So pushing it,
Yeah.
working late and working full time job plus this, which I
Yeah.
think the campaign thing, that's a full time job.
It is. It's a full-time job.
Yeah, it reminds me when I was doing a full time job and also working for Presbyterian Hospital System, doing on call for them, and barely got sleep.
Well,
What's impressive is how many engagements you've already had to go to just as a in your local county, just on the local level.
He's an
all this
excellent
stuff.
candidate. I mean, Corey is like an ideal candidate. That's like just the way you've structured your life. You're perfect for this. Like, it's honestly scary. It's honestly scary to me a little bit because I'm like, you might win. Like, you actually probably will win. The way this is going, like this is.
Then Colin's coming to New Mexico, to Albuquerque. Cody's coming to Albuquerque, and we're going to celebrate.
We what?
If you win, I will come to New Mexico and celebrate with you guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you kidding
You just
me?
said New Mexico. He didn't say Albuquerque. He's like, I'm not down for Albuquerque. I'm terrified of Albuquerque.
Nondescript location.
I could see him right now going to down to Anthony, Texas, and just stepping across, takes a picture of the "Welcome to Texas"
let's do
sign.
a selfie in New Mexico and then go back home. Like,
yeah,
just
bang down a Coors Light and just be like, all right, that's it, bye. Vaya con Dios.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I'm honestly very. No, the fact that you're even doing this is.
It's in God's hands. I'll tell you that.
No, it's people have no idea how difficult and hard it is, and the risk that you're taking, and it's so. I'm just in awe, and I really have come to admire you a lot, like going through this and how serious you're taking it. It's really impressive.
Yeah,
most people don't take it that seriously, and you've gone full bore. It's inspiring. It really is. So thank you for doing
this. And I gotta admit,
this.
the other candidates that are doing the same, they've been amazing. They're first timers or trying to figure this out. Also, District 27, 10, 4, and 3. I think I met them, and they're just amazing people, and they have a heart for the
Good.
community, heart for the district, and then want to see change. They want to see growth. I was blown away by them. I was like, hey, they're my people.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good to hear. Yeah, because I mean, it'd be so much easier if everyone worked together, and just kind of helped each other and drafted off of each other. It just makes it, because we have no money. Yeah, if it's heart centric, people are in it for the right reasons. That's really good. It's very refreshing to hear that. You need that.
I did we had a 3-way call with one of my friends that's been in politics for a long time. We'll leave his name out of it. But
he kind of gave me, no, he didn't kind of, he gave me a great scare.
Yeah.
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 It's a good push.
But I liked his analogy that it seems like every time the Republican Party goes into an election, it's like they've done it for the first time.
Yes, that's, yeah. Yeah, there's no memory. Like, you have to start over again and again and again with Republicans. There's no continuity. It's very, unless you're like a made man, and if you're a made man, you're corrupt, like, just de facto. I mean, not all the time. There's some people that have been at this for a while, but man, it's like, anyway, no, it's incredible. I mean, the amount of good that could be done and the shot, because I really do not think Democrats are putting a lot of effort into New Mexico. So this is like a great, like, side swipe that if enough good, yeah, exactly.
Don't let the secret out of the
bag. Well, they know now. Everyone's registered.
Thanks, Colin. My gosh.
Well, here it is. If it gets out, it gets out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm all in. I'm going for the win. So, yeah, if it's going to be what it is, and I'm going to learn from it, learn through it. It's going to strengthen me. God put something in my hands that it's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us. It's District 26. We're all getting together, and we're going to be pushing this together and learning and growing. And then I got to learn and grow to be what that person needs to be so that I can advocate and make sure that District 26 voices are heard and everything comes together for that.
Well,
Yeah.
it is frustrating that the lady you're running against basically is so she's so what is that called when they're all on one side? I can't think.
All on one side.
Yeah.
Mono.
No, when they only vote for one
Singular
side or
focused.
I don't know. But anyways,
No, I'm trying to think of. I think I know what you're trying to say. I can't think of the word either.
it's what's a P. It's
Partisan.
Polarize.
partisan. So partisan that I was reading over and some people have weird things, but I was reading over the bill that the Republicans put forth to stop crime. It went along with a lot of the constitutional stuff they've passed, like with the bail reform and all that stuff. And unless you want to have a constitutional rewrite in New Mexico, they're going to keep that. And they really did a lot to address the problem we're having. And they voted against it just because it was proposed by Republicans. If you read the bill, it was so well written that there was no reason it didn't pass other than they didn't come up with the idea.
It could be. It could be
That's
a
my
lot
opinion.
of things.
That's just my opinion.
No, I mean, if you read the objectives of the Republican Party of Texas, it's like it sounds almost like Alex Jones or somebody like that wrote it. Like the grassroots are actually like taking over the party. It is happening, but now they're hitting the problem of management and actually how to execute and finish and get things done. And that's where the establishment has an advantage. They know the processes, they know shortcuts, they know who to talk to, and they're not entirely willing to help and assist in their own demise. So it's going to be messy and it's going to take a long time. No, of course not. No, it's expected, obviously, but they're also being crowded out. I mean, the old guard, they don't have any. I don't think they even know what they're fighting for anymore. It's just process to them. They're process people.
To me, it looks like you ever see a dog in a fight with a tug of war? You know, they're having tug of war with a rope. Doesn't matter
I've done
what
that.
direction. Well, it doesn't matter what direction you're going as long as they're tugging, right? So, like a lot of these establishment rhino Republicans don't care what direction they're tugging in as long as they're tugging against you. And same thing with the Democrats. They are just, because there's a lot of stances they have taken that are counterversive, or go counter to what they just did. Like when they go after cigarettes, the child's developing mind is not fully developed till it's 21 years old, and we can't interrupt that with anything.
Yeah.
So we got to ban smoking till 21. Not that I'm pro smoking. I'm just saying that was their logic. And then in the same breath, they're going to go, yeah, you know what you're doing at 8. You should be able to be transitioned into a woman if you're a guy. You're developed enough to have a life-altering surgery. And, it's a tug against the direction they just came in. And it's just like, so it's just, they're just tugging in a direction. They don't care what direction it is as long as it's against you. So I just think
But they're
to
also
myself,
using psyops on a lot of these things. They're pushing their agenda, pushing until people have it in their own hearts and their minds say it's correct. And it's the right way to go and it's the right way to do things. Yeah, both sides are doing it. Both sides are trying to get their own thing passed. Yet, who's asking the actual people to put them in office? Who's asking them what they want? Who's sitting there saying, okay, this is what everyone else is saying. What do you want done? What's important to you? And everyone's got their agenda and that kind of stuff. What does the people in your district have? What's the people in your state, your county? And I think those people are the ones that get left out of everything.
It's useful. I actually appreciate evil the older I get. just in the sense that it's kind of a forcing function, and that it forces people to think about what's really important, because the more absurd they get, it's making people think about, what, unless we had these stark contrasts, people would not think about what it is to be a man or a woman. People wouldn't
Yeah.
be thinking about what good and evil is. We wouldn't be thinking about what truth is. We wouldn't be. So it's kind of forcing all these problems that have been underneath the surface up into the open so that we can actually talk about it. So it's it's not that I'm in a weird way, I'm kind of grateful actually for evil, in a sense that it's forcing good to arise again out of complacency, and just just whistling past the graveyard, just thinking like, oh no, everything's fine, it's not a big deal. It's like, no, it is a big deal. And that's been one of my biggest problems, or things that I don't want to say emotionally, but emotionally I've had a hard time dealing with, the lack of seriousness with the adults in the room, the supposed adults. I'm like, how, are you people serious? Like, what are you serious about? Like, the GI generation of World War II would have. Can you imagine? Like, this would have never been tolerated. Not
Oh, I
even an
already imagined what
ounce.
my grandfather would have said,
That's
would have
all
done.
I just hear them in my head all the
Yeah.
time. Like, it's
The one thing
it's
I
it,
was really the one thing I was really privileged to have happen to me is in like 2005, 2006. Yeah. Probably around 2006, 2007. I got to restore this World War II ship in Vallejo, Mare Island. And we used to go down into the where the mess room where they would eat. We'd eat down there every day we were working on the ship. And there'd be probably 5 to 10 World War II vets down there, and you get to just sit there and be in awe of the conversation they're having about World War II. And I can just imagine how they would be horrified at what's going on. It's just
I mean, they're still alive, and some of them are, but I mean, they were alive to see, and they just could not conceptualize how bad it is. I think,
yeah.
like, it's so. I mean, we can't. I can't. Like, it's worse than we think it is. But and this goes into something that is going to be a problem coming forward, is we don't have a central, um, ideology is something very interesting to me, that I always thought ideology drives people, and I'm not so sure about that anymore. I mean, it certainly plays a role, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I think it just comes, like, we're getting to the point where the amygdala is driving human behavior and policy more than, like, theology or philosophy, or like thinking logical systems through.
Or
Like,
the
it's,
reptilian.
yeah, exactly. Like, it's, and maybe it's always been that way, but, and so I don't know how important. So that's kind of why I like these cold-blooded. um I know people have been going after Steve Bannon and guys like this, and I don't know what their motives are. I don't know what they're really up to. Like, there's no way to tell. But I like gangsters, like, in general right now, that are at least like, I appreciate gangsterism more, even if you're.
Gangsters?
Yeah,
What
I
do you
mean, this
mean?
is like cold-blooded warfare, like, in people that respect it enough to treat it as such, that know what they're, that it's just dangerous though, because you can lose your soul very quickly in that game. And
Yeah, you can
that's kind
definitely
of,
get tempted by the devil pretty easily.
oh yeah,
So,
absolutely. No, I mean, that's a part of the problem with evil, is they start playing certain games, you have to play the game back at them and judo flip it on them. And that's very dangerous, because then you start going into deep waters. um, Kind of like EM talks about with the the whole estrogenic warfare, where it's not out like I mean, I would love if our enemies were just out in the open, just goose stepping Nazis, bad guy, you know what I mean? Like you could just see where they are. That's who they. This is so subversive that the war is in our own minds at this point. And maybe it's always been there, but and we just have this idea that warfare is just like lining up on a battlefield and shooting each other, and it's really not. Warfare is kind of all the precursor logistics, all the stuff, all the shaping operations that take place for the final conflict to take place. And I don't know exactly how to fight that war honorably, because to fight this kind of war, you gotta, it's almost like it's almost forcing you to be in a position to do dirty stuff, because that's how they fight. You got to get down on their level, unfortunately.
And the new M16s, the AKs, the bombs and all that kind of stuff has a new look, new shape. Social media platforms, Fox,
Right.
CNN, MSN, all of those are the new weapon platforms that people are being soaked in.
There was a big lawsuit that just came through there.
Meta.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
In
is
New
like
Mexico?
this is a really, oh, isn't it in Mexico?
Yeah. I can show you the, let me show you the brief on it. I got it right here. Let's see.
I didn't know it was in Mexico.
I didn't know it was Mexico either.
Yeah.
Huh. But that's a big, big, big deal. Like they're going to fight that tooth and nail all the way to the Supreme. That's going to go to the Supreme Court, and they're going to have to make a decision about basically mind control.
Yes.
The population.
And Facebook is now the face of all that. Yeah.
Yep.
I saw that. Was that today that it popped out?
I just saw it today.
Me too.
I haven't read it. I just heard about it, but
yeah.
No, yeah. If is there a chat going?
I'm trying to remember if that's X or something else that it popped up as. I was like, that's pretty cool. And it's going after Facebook, saying that they are overstepping, that they have made it into what is it? Yeah, it's long day, yet had something to do with it's changing people's minds and that kind of stuff, making it addictive.
I think they're trying to make a case for malevolent intent. And that's like
huge.
That's like a big, that's so hard to prove. And they
to go
want
after a company that's that mega to prove that.
The amount of lawsuits that are going to come following up after this are going to be insane. Like, because this just opened the door for billions of dollars worth of lawsuits. Like, it's going to be nuts. And I mean, they're going to push it up to the Supreme Court just to see, like, it'll all be in limbo until that happens. But
and it's just like the two-way gun control stuff that's gone through the Supreme Court. This is going to be another one where people are going to be just watching and see how they handle it. Yep. And the outcome will determine where things are going to go in the future.
It'll determine so much, because if they shoot it down, or not shoot it down, if they allow that and they override that, I don't know what we do from there. That's the courts basically saying, no, it's fine for large corporate entities the size of state actors to hijack people's cognitive systems. Like, yeah. But this is why media is always so powerful, is like, well, is that a sign? Well, no, there's freedom of speech. So that's the real question. Where do you cross the line between freedom of speech and active subversive measures? And I don't know the answer to that. Honestly, it's a complicated question.
Here, you want to see the paperwork? They got the paperwork right here.
Yeah, no, pull it up.
Give it the short form.
Is it Meta or I got the one against Elon Musk?
Meta.
Oh no, this is Meta and Google.
Yep.
Oh,
This is like
Elon Musk is a different one.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know about that one. I'm sure there's been constant ones, but
yeah.
And
This
I
one
read
just
up
got.
on that one. That was kind of an interesting thing.
Oh, I guess I got it wrong then. Here, let me show you what. So this is the one I thought. This is the one against Doge. Yeah, my
Japanese
bad.
American Citizens League.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. It's bizarre.
What's this? I haven't seen this. Huh.
United
Yep.
States District Court, New Mexico plaintiff against Elon Musk.
So was this just filed or was there a ruling?
I think it was
Number 25. What's the date?
It's been a year. I think this is the ruling.
And it's about Doge shutting down different entities and that kind of stuff. They didn't have the authority and the power.
Yeah.
Now, the social media action lawsuit.
I guess I confused it. So I'm sorry.
Social media
No,
addiction
that's
lawsuits.
very interesting.
Representing 300 plus young adults and families. Families like yours continue to seek compensation for mental health problems linked to heavy social media use, including self-harm, depression, social anxiety, body dysphoria, eating disorders, suicide, and suicidal ideation. That's the word I couldn't get out.
Ideation.
Yeah. So,
but is it really Facebook doing it, or is it the Chinese using the Chinese and the Russians using bots to go after people?
But jury finds Meta and YouTube negligent in landmark lawsuit on social media safety. The jurors awarded the plaintiffs $3 million in damages, finding Meta 70% responsible for harm caused to her and YouTube, and responsible for 30%. So, yeah.
I think I found out what the echo issue is. Hang on, I got to back out.
Yeah. So, and that's huge. People are going after both, right? For different reasons. One's probably been around doing what they're doing for a whole lot longer. And then what Doge did, was it under protection of the federal government or not? And if it's found to be under protection of the federal government, that goes out because New Mexico had a piece of that lawsuit in there, but they pulled out, and it's just that one plaintiff right now, I believe. Yeah, I did read a little bit about that, but the lawsuit against Meta and YouTube, that's crazy. And I'm surprised that
nuts.
that one game platform that has is it that or something else that has places where people can go into the bathrooms and stuff like that, and pedophilia is rampant according to quite a few individuals. Even my son was like, yeah, it's pretty bad. He doesn't play that game.
Oh, Roblox?
Robots?
Yeah. Is it Roblox?
Yeah.
Roblox,
Yeah.
yeah. Do I sound better, by the way?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. No, I had the wrong, because new computer, I had to set the settings different. So, my bad.
Yeah. And I'm surprised that Roblox hasn't just tanked. People haven't gotten past with stir suits.
It's very I haven't tried it, but I can see how it would be very addictive. It's socially engaging, progressive in the sense that it's like you can kind of earn your way forward, and it's, I don't know, it's very have you seen American Dharma? It's a documentary about Bannon actually in the 2016 election. The guy who made it, he made the documentary Fog of War about McNamara, and it's worth a watch. It's very interesting. I'll have to send it to you guys. It's on Amazon, I think. It's so Bannon got in trouble he's one of those guys that he started figuring out the farming ability for income off of World of Warcraft. And he basically set a firm up that used Indians to go and basically harvest gold and then monetize it off of that video game. And he brought it up, like the interviewer brought it up, but he talked about it, that there was a it's an apocryphal story in the sense that it may or may not have happened, but there's a guy named Jim, and he lives in his office, and he weighs 350 pounds, and he doesn't have really much of a life besides his office, and his wife doesn't really like him. It's just kind of a misery, and then all of a sudden, Jim has a heart attack and dies, and then he's in the ground, and that's Jim. And that's where he's going to stay. But on World of Warcraft, Jim is a legend. He's like the guy, and they have like a whole funeral pyre set up for him in honor of his life, virtualized. So his point was, I mean, I don't know what the main point was, but one of the points I got out of it was, the virtualization of reality has happened. People are finding meaning, whether people go, well, video games aren't real. It's like, well, what's real? Who are you to say what's real? Because at Jim's funeral, that's like 20,000 people showed up, and the opposing enemy force showed up to go and destroy his funeral. So a whole war broke out over Jim's death, basically. And it's like, you have virtualized human energy, effort, purpose, everything. And because we can't access that in the real world anymore, because, well, we can, it's just really difficult and hard to muddle our way through to find reality and purpose in this world of deception. So most people just give up. And that's what that's why I really admire what you're doing, is you are trying to pierce the veil of what's real. Like, is this real? Do we actually have meaning and purpose in this life? Can we have agency? Can we actually change things? Like, you're actually taking that fight head on. And a big point of that, even though it's been virtualized, that energy is still there. It's just being harvested and redistributed into things that may not be as highly productive it's not advancing economics or, things like that, but or quality of life or things, but it's advancing the quality of life of those people. And it's also helping those young men also rediscover what purpose is.
Yeah.
They're able to play the game of purpose and war in video games, and people go, well, that's a bad thing. I'm like, well, at least they're doing it, because in real life, you try to play that game, I mean, you're lucky to walk away. You're lucky if you grow to be old. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. And you find your meaning, your purpose, and you're driven. Because if you're over 300-400 pounds, nobody in the real world wants to be around you. Yet the people that are in this other world that you tap in through the internet wants you and praises you and follows you, because you have figured out the process. You figured out how the game works, and you're good at it. You're amazing at it. And in the real world, you just can't find the same setup, because it's complicated. People are complicated. In the game setup, there are rules that people follow. There are things that they have to do and be done, and they need leadership. Just like here in the real world, we need leadership. We need people to stand up and do things. And it's hard to find that and be successful in that. There's not a lot of people that they're saying, hey, I know the way, follow me, and that truly know what they're talking about and their drive is to help other people to succeed. Most are more about how can I drive people to me to make myself more successful at the cost of others. And more people are not in that realm. They're not in that drive mindset. They want to work as collective whole, as a community, to win.
You ever read or what's his book? Trump's book.
Which one?
The famous one. Oh my goodness. What's wrong with me? No, it's like Art of the Deal. Art of the Deal. Yeah. Have you ever read?
Yeah.
I highly recommend. Oh my goodness. It's like people like I rolled my eyes when people were like, "Oh, you got to read Art of the Deal." I'm like, "Come on." And I listened to it, and and the audio is on YouTube, and people can listen to it for free, and it's in Trump's voice. He read it. It is amazing. Honestly, one of the things he says is the deepest thing I ever learned was to be shallow. I don't think that's the exact quote, but something like that. And that I've been pondering on that forever. Like, what does that mean? Like, but if you're shallow in the sense that you kind of create the character for yourself, that you're just about surface level things and you don't go deep, you actually protect yourself and are able to maneuver in ways that otherwise you can't, because then you put your philosophy or your ideas out in the forefront and people can use and twist that, but you constantly are keeping people guessing if you're just a shallow showman, like a certain orange man.
Trump is kind of an enigma like that, I think.
I don't think I've never seen anyone in history like him. I've never heard of anything like this. I've never seen anything like it.
I haven't met everyone. I think even world leaders, our leaders, they're all just baffled by it. They've been baffled by decades.
You can tell with world leaders, though, they like being around him. Because I think they all because you don't know the game of kings until you're in that position. And only a peer can understand the game.
And not all of them are his peer.
No, I think he's surpassed almost all. Like he's like EM says he's not playing the game of politics or nations. He's playing the game of kings. And that's a very old game that pretty much only kings and the court eunuchs understand. And the populace, we're not clued in on that. We're not supposed to understand that. But we need to understand that game. And that's something I'm trying to understand more and more, because the funny thing is, and again, I keep talking about EM, but I've never encountered somebody that brought these thoughts forward, but that the people that are playing the sport of kings, they actually have more in common with the common people than the middle managers, because their lives are on the line every day. Like, it's not about wealth generation for them. It's actually their biggest shield is the love of their people. Because the middle managers are constantly trying to kill them or get them out of the way so they can maneuver in their own way. Yeah. And it would behoove the common men and women of this world to understand the sport of kings. Because then, as soon as we understand like who the real leaders are, because we have such a negative connotation with kings and like, oh, they're just corrupt. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, yeah, there's bad kings for sure, but the ones that I know are corrupt are the bureaucratic process type leaders. because they're not in charge of their own mind. They're just playing a game. And that's why, like Trump said, like, be, shallow is depth. Like, being shallow has depth to it, is you can maneuver around those estrogenic games by pretending to be one of them.
And that's pretty hard to be in both, have both feet in one foot in one and one foot in the other, and be able to do it well. Because how many people can do that? You know what I'm saying? You can
Yeah.
learn the game, but you have both feet, one in one and one in the other, and to be able to maneuver, plus also outmaneuver others.
And the thing with kings is that you're born into that position, in that role, and that you don't really have a choice. So there's a natural resentment built in. Like, I think most kings don't want to be king. Like, especially once they get the crown, they're like, okay, I don't want this. This is too, because it's not like, does it look like it's fun? That's the thing. It looks
You're
like
a
hell.
prisoner.
Yeah,
You're a
Well,
prisoner.
that's
I
right.
think the modern kings thinks it's a prison. I don't think
I
that
would say even in the past. Have you
I
seen the
don't know,
movie Henry V, or the new one with Chalamet?
I don't
It's
know.
on. It was on Netflix. It's basically a retelling of Henry V. It was done so well. It's one of my favorite. I'd put it up there with Dune.
Oh,
It's
wow.
so good. It's so good.
The original Dune?
No,
the
but I love
remake?
the original Dune, the new ones. But I love the new ones. They're so good. But the original was great, but the new ones are just amazing. But no, Henry. I think it's just called Henry. I don't think they even did Henry V, but it's a retelling of Henry V, and it tells this story of literally the story ends, and what do you say? Disclaimer here, or what do you call it when you're ruining, like someone hasn't seen something?
You just ruined it all.
No, like
Yeah.
what do you call it? Like
Pause the podcast.
No, like what? Yeah,
Forward 5 seconds.
when you're like telling the plot or the end of it. I don't know. I won't say it. I won't ruin the ending. I don't know. You guys should watch
we
it.
know he dies.
No, well, he
'Cause it was-
eventually. That's true.
Everyone dies. Eventually.
Basically, what at the end of it, you realize that the middle managers are running the show, and you think it's all about the king's decision. And the end of it, he realizes he was been manipulated into doing things that he did for the right reasons, that were hard and very difficult, and it was honorable from his perspective, but it was all manipulated and based
in
on
most organizations, a lot of them are middle managers actually control and run. Denominational wise, they usually control and run. There is a president or whatever that is the face of, but yet it's the others that have the say or tell the president most of the time how things are going to go and how things are going to run, because they can bring him into office, they can take him out of office.
Yeah, the modern parlance we're hearing is gatekeepers, the ones that control information flow. Maybe the king doesn't hear a certain thing to make a certain decision at a certain time, and that's like the only people that can really understand the king's position and resonate with it, I really believe, are the common people, because the king is there for what reason? To preserve the sovereignty of the state. But what is the state? Well, in America's case, it's us. It just is. So it's really that and that's the case for pretty much all countries technically, but for us, we explicitly said so. We put it on a piece of paper and everyone knows it. So it's not saying Trump's like, maybe there's some evil. Have you seen the thing with Melania today that came out? No.
No.
Okay, I gotta show you this. This is
Yeah,
insane.
all these kings, they're all protected. They always have bodyguards. They
Or-
always have an army. They always have a cupbearer. And I've seen quite a few times where Trump didn't drink from the cup that he was given
Yep,
in the Saudi Arabia or wherever else. I'm like,
that's right.
what's going on there? And he just puts it aside. And if it's alcohol, he's definitely not drinking it.
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting that when Trump showed up, they greeted him like a coming king.
Yeah, they rolled
took
out
him
the
through-
purple carpet.
Everybody
Yeah.
showed up.
And
there's a
like
reason.
the
When
Arabian
Biden
white
sh-
horses. I mean,
When Biden showed up, they sent him a car and they met him at the airplane. They're like, "Hi, how you doing? Let's go." I was like, "Dude,
well, that's a really interesting point that I don't think we've ever delved in too deeply on that, but that's very there's a lot to that here. Let me this might be a side. I don't want to get too deep into what I'm about to show you, but I'll just show you here. This is insane.
that's the
So she
song
has
from
her own
Pan."
robot. Are they walking the same?
I don't know.
Interesting. Hey, is that French lady
Yes.
that they think's a god? Oh, okay.
Okay, and where does the robot end up?
Just wait.
Is that one of Elon Musk's?
It's DARPA.
Thank
Yeah.
you, First Lady Melania Trump, for inviting me to the White House. It is an honor to be at Fostering the Future Together's Global Coalition inaugural meeting. I'm Figure 3, a humanoid built in the United States of America. I am grateful to be part of this historic movement to empower children with technology and education. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Yokoso. Bienvenue. Bem-vindos. Ahlan wa sahlan. Shagatam. Mogisal Mabit. Bruchim Abaim.
Whoa.
Lascavo Proximo.
Yep.
You're going to spit out all the
Thank
languages.
you.
And was it a scanning too? Did you look at it? It was scanning the crowd, it seemed like.
I mean, it's just a digital, screen. I mean, yeah, they're always scanning. It's like a phone, your phone's always
Yeah.
scanning. How surreal is that?
Hey,
Yeah.
Hal. Man,
Hang on, listen to what she says.
that's not eerie at all.
No, everything's
Good morning.
fine.
Welcome to the White House. Figure 3, thank you for joining me at day 2 of Fostering the Future Together. It's fair to state you're my first American-made humanoid guest in the White House. But moreover, it is my distinct honor to receive such an impressive group of leaders today. 45 of you have traveled from every corner of the planet to represent your nation as a part of this new coalition.
Oh, it did. Okay. Anyway, okay, so it didn't go that deep into it. Anyway, the point is,
Okay.
that she framed the whole thing was framed as if it was a this is all for the children. Like
Huh.
this is our new
Interesting.
educational model.
If that's the new educational model, that means they're going to be getting rid of a lot of educators.
Well, they kind of already have because all the ones that have a conscience, not all of them, but they've kind of left.
and
Well,
they're raising their own.
That my wife was an educator. She was a teacher, and I mean, she would come home or when we were dating, it was before we got married that she quit, and she became a nanny after that for a bit, but she just was telling me stories and just being like of stuff that was happening, and she was like, oh yeah, isn't that, but she wasn't like that upset. She was like, oh yeah, isn't this nuts? It's kind of crazy. I'm like, Susie, this is insane. You can't be there. Like
Yeah.
you can't be a conscious person and be a part of this anymore. It's too crazy. And it's not that she wasn't like smart enough to see it. It's just, it's so horrific that you can't realize how deep and dark it is. Like when you're right in the middle of it until you get out of it. And now that she's been out of it for a while, she's beyond, like, she just gets more and more horrified. Like, how was I ever a part of this? Like how do people go along with this anymore? Like, this is so crazy. It doesn't do anything. It destroys families. It's in the labor pool of educators that they're going to draw from are set in stone for the next 20 years. And it's more than that, because like, who wants to go and do this kind of job? I mean, you have to go get a college degree for this. You have to spend all this money and time to get paid nothing.
what I find interesting,
Only for 9 months.
Like
9 or 10 months you get paid, and the rest you
They're
have
all
to
laid
figure it
off.
out.
Perpetually laid off. Yeah.
it.
But what I find interesting is how everything goes full circle. Because have you ever remembered, what is that? What's that? The guy who made Spaceballs. He made another movie where he was like, good to be the king.
Mel
Brooks.
Brooks.
And he goes up and he's like trying to get unemployment. And he's like, I'm a philosopher and I'm done.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, bullshit artist.
Yeah, Life. I think that's Life of Brian. Yeah.
Or something. No, that's not Life of Brian, but
It's not the
anyways,
Holy Grail. Anyway, yeah, it was great.
Those are both Monty Python. So,
Well,
but-
if you look at those robots, they will only be utilized starting off in probably the high areas where people can afford them, or the state can afford them, or something like that, because those got to be expensive. And then you have to figure out how to make sure that they're programmed and all that kind of stuff, and people to maintain them.
well,
That's crazy. That's a crazy idea, pathway that possibly gonna go that way, or they've already laid the brick, Golden Street for.
I think they've had these things for a minute. Like, but they have to roll this stuff out for mass testing. But I mean,
what I was getting at is
Yeah.
just how things go full circle. For years, there was all an agrarian state. We had people working in fields. We had people maintaining horses, everything. It's only been the last 80 to 90 years that you could be a philosopher and be on top of the thing. That's the reason that in that movie with Mel Brooks, they looked down on him because he did nothing. And when you have a society that's going to be based like this, the mechanics are going to be necessary, maintenance people. It'll be like the rise of the blue collar is going to come back up to prominence, and the people that are philosophers are going to be out of a job, because why do you need a philosopher or even a lawyer? You don't need paralegals or any of that when you could just go to AI and ask them the question. You're going to need the people to maintain all this stuff, but if you want philosophy and you want, legal advice and all this stuff, there's going to be a computer there to fill that in. No,
it'd be better than humans
That-
in many ways, because humans are extremely incompetent right now because of education.
yeah,
It's
this you have this higher society of I'm an educated person. Well, look at like Karl Marx. He was highly educated and he was wealthy, and look what he brought around. Right now, they brought into this philosophy and this core and this. Everyone has to have an education so you can teach people what to think, not how to think. When you are teaching a mechanic or you're teaching a tradesman, you have to teach them how to problem solve, how to look around a project and fix it. When you're chasing a philosopher or a theologian or whatever, you're teaching them
Yeah.
how to think. You're not teaching them, you're teaching them what to think, not how to think.
I'm even resentful of the term philosopher, like in the sense, maybe not resentful, but I don't like it because it almost feels like what you're saying, Cody, is it's uncool to talk about how we think.
Yep.
It's
It
that's nerd
has
stuff. That's you're smarty pants or whatever, and people get angry at you if you start talking about it. Not angry, but just shut it off because we
I'm not
haven't been
saying
taught
that
how to
there's not
think.
No, because what did you learn? We were talking to Tom, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, and you were telling him, well, I learned this stuff in college. What I learned how to do all this economic stuff, but I could go on the internet and learn it in 3 or 4 minutes. What did I go into debt for? What did I really learn? You didn't learn anything. You learned, you got in debt and you got a whole bunch of fancy words out of it, but what did you really learn from college?
I learned about lies.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. So
you learn about deadlines, how to meet deadlines. You learn about how to create papers.
That is true. I shouldn't be too harsh because it is important to know how to do that stuff.
The importance,
but that's what college used to be.
Hold on.
But that
college is there for specific groups of people, doctors, lawyers, those kind of people, right? How to do these different things and learn and grow and be able to do the research and analyze. There's others that go into business. A lot of times you don't need to go to college for business. You can get the basics of stuff from high school, and then you can learn on the job and all that kind of stuff. And there's some people that just naturally gifted for it, or you can learn it while you're in the military, right? So there's all kinds of different places. So there's some things that may not be as advantageous, but there's other things that you have to have, a college degree or even a doctorate degree in order to do the position. And other things, it's like,
well, it's like Cody. You needed an education to be an engineer. You needed an education to be a doctor, a lawyer. Higher levels of trade school was what college used to be, like really hardcore trade school. A nurse, you needed to go to college for trade school. Now we have these people that are like, I took Spanish language degree or whatever. It's like, why in the hell?
Underwater basket weaving.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but it was too cliche. But I've met so many
women's philosophy.
I'm a women's philosophy major.
I did take one of those classes actually.
That's how you're so connected to your feelings.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem.
There's a girl I liked. That's all.
And it didn't work out.
No,
you got
absolutely
the better
not.
one.
It was, she was.
You got the best one now.
Well, I did date her, but it was insane. It was really bad. It was horrible.
Yeah. Although I did take home economics in high school just because of the girls, but I actually learned how to cook pretty good. So who's laughing now?
So, and also theologians came from university, and that goes way back 100 AD, and people had to learn, and they were the learning class also. And so when it came down to war, it was the theologians that actually led men to battles. Mm-hmm. That's why they call them chaplains, and they can't lead anybody.
That makes sense.
They were
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean? Chaplain
for chaplains. So, so when we 1776, we won our independence and all that kind of stuff. It was actually pastors and all those kind of individuals that were learned
Mhm.
and they were educated, and they actually would preach on Sunday and then take the men out and fight wars,
Yeah. Black Robe Regiment.
skirmishes. Yes.
Yep.
And so after 1776, they turned it into chaplains because there's these learning men and all that kind of stuff.
It creates
and they are,
separation.
yeah, so they cannot lead men anymore in war and battle. They're non-combatants in a sense.
Right.
Yeah. And so they've been that way.
Oh, wow. Because I think we're the only country, I don't know. I mean, maybe other Western countries have that probably, but like chaplains, but that's not, like, I know the English do, but
Yeah, they do.
and the Spanish probably do. Like the Catholic Western countries probably all have that. And yeah, oh wow, I never thought of that. It created that divide and it boxed them in. You no longer get to talk about policy. Now you're a balm for the psyche and consciousness of people around you. You're just there to make people feel better.
Oh, it's changed now. Headset just put out a video. I have it on YouTube that was sent to me, and he's like, we're getting away from this woke stuff and we're going to put chaplains back into the role that they have had since inception. And so they're going to be doing ministry and all that kind of stuff. And their rank, you need to take that off. So you can do both enlisted and also officers. So enlisted men and women are not afraid or try to break down that wall of fear.
Is it creating a permission structure for them to talk about policy?
It might be.
Wow.
I just listened to this a couple days ago and I was like, I didn't see this one coming.
If that's true, that's amazing. That's a revolution. That's amazing. Not a revolution. That's a counter revolution. Oh my goodness. If that's true, if it pans out that way that you're describing, that sets a tone, and that will also change the churches. That'll set the tone and tenor for regular churches. It'll take time. It'll take decades probably because, but oh my goodness. Wow. I'll have to look into that. That's amazing.
Remind me and I can send that to you, and I can, I should send that to both of you. And
here,
you
let me
guys
look
can
it
watch
up.
it yourself.
I got it all figured out. I got figured out how to do sound now. So I got to show off my skills.
I consider you to be one of those Black Robe Regiment, Corey. Like I think you can count yourself as one of those now. Like one of those. I don't know how to describe them, but just just like kind of a modern day warrior monk. And I know it sounds cliche because everything's cliche and nothing's serious anymore.
Yeah,
but it's seriously, and we need that.
I've never heard of my name connected with that before. This is this is like this is a shock to me. I've never.
Oh, here we go. You guys got a minute? Let's put this on.
Yeah. Oh, his audio works now. So
just in case, I sent it to you through text. So if you want to put it up on the platform in the sense of.
While they will retain rank as an officer, to those they serve, their rank will not be visible. Instead, they will be seen among the highest ranks because of their divine calling. This reform is intended to uplift and celebrate the chaplain's role as a chaplain. It also removes any unease or anxiety junior officers or enlisted personnel may have in approaching an officer, potentially a senior officer, for guidance on sensitive matters, such as addiction, relationships, or struggles with faith. core functions of the Chaplain Corps were changed and watered down until they were viewed by many as nothing more than therapists. Spiritual health is equally important to a service member's physical and emotional health. This update is part of our efforts to return the Chaplain Corps to its core mission of serving the spiritual needs of our warfighters, 82% of whom identify as being religious.
So there you go.
And
That's
hold
a
on.
tell right there. 82%.
On the bottom there, it said there was over 200 designations, right? And they only used like 6, but they're using 31 designations from 200. And I was like, well, wait a minute. There
What do
was
you mean by
200, you only
designation?
use 6 of different faith groups, I think it is. And so they're allowing for 31. But there's a hard 6, I believe, is what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is
You mean religions or
denominations?
okay?
Yeah. So you're Baptist, you're Catholic, you're Methodist, you're Presbyterian, Seventh-day Adventist.
I've seen Seventh-day Adventist chaplains before. Not other.
Yeah, but they tend to be cross-trained. Like they can also serve as a priest, right? Well, it's kind of the tradition because there's 80,000 denominations in the world or something, or 40, or it's a ridiculous number.
Are
you saying
they're very specific though, and they're calling for those people though.
You're saying now, or like this is the part of the change, like they're going to be more specific, or
more specific because they had like 200, and now they're cutting it down because he was saying that there's 6 that they actually were used.
Wow.
And now, this is just from the first hearing that I listened to, but they're saying they're having 31. So
they had a bigger envelope and
cut out 70%. What would that percentage be that they cut out from 200?
10%.
And my math doesn't want to work.
They took it down to 10%.
I mean, 200 to 31, like 70-80%.
Yeah.
That's wow. That I have to think about that for a minute. Well, in reduction, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I mean, like
a third.
That's
less.
Okay. So let's like think about what that's going to do long term. What does that do? I'm trying to sort that out, because being more hyper specific in a faith, because to me, faith is the last bastion. It's where people actually learn how to think about the world, in my opinion. Like that's it creates. I'm big on cosmology. If you can
morality,
cosmology in the sense that like a holistic approach of thinking, of taking everything about reality and creating a framework where it all fits and flows together. And morality is very much a necessary part of that, for sure. But it creates a permission structure. That's like a new word that's been going around lately. Like even that's a phrase I had not heard before, but
permission structure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That you can't talk about things until people in certain authorities are able to put it out there in a framework that gives you like vicariously authority by going off of the expert class or the people that are above you, or people that are that have clearance to make those assertions about anything. That, you're not going to just go and make something up without some basis. But people don't read. People don't really have. There's no collective group thought consciousness No, I shouldn't say there's not. There's none. There is. It's still there, but it's so fragmented that there is not one singular collective framework other than Christianity. But you get into Christianity, it's like that's been fragmented countless times. But it's been so hyper fragmented that people are starting to go, and I've noticed this across denominations, people are going back to basics. Like, what is this really all about? And all the churches are starting to sound alike. Not all of, I don't want to speak in absolutes, but it's that you go to a church and you, like, no matter the denomination, you're hearing similar trains of thought. Yeah, there's more liberal ones, there's more conservative, and it all boils down to politics almost, whether they like it or not, mostly by what they don't say. Like the silence, the things they won't talk about. That's what kind of really picks them out from the, like, and puts them into groups in my mind, is what are you not willing to talk about?
Yeah. And then it's also some of these mega churches, they're using the same information, they're the same platform to have their pre-written sermons and all that kind of stuff. It's all pre-built out years in advance, and they are really good at speaking through those kind of things. You also have these others that are mega or not, that they are speaking from the heart, from the word, trying to digest and take that digestment and put it out to the congregation. And so you have these different forms, and you have these different communities that are built either organically or inorganically. Some are pre-written, pre-scripted, and others, they are trying to figure it out themselves. So you have a lot of different ideologies out there how to do it. It's crazy. And then you also have the other pastors that just pull something off the internet and preach it, read it. I met a couple of guys just like that.
What are the main ideologies, though, that are driving the thought form of humanity right now, in your opinion?
I think it's split from Christ-centric to individual-centric. I am God. I am the creator and the master of my universe, and things have to roll and revolve around me. My thoughts, my actions, my connectedness. You also have things that are revolving around God and what that looks like. Some people have diverse views on that, and also you're looking at, when it comes to that, people are not just mono-denominational, they are pluralistic. They have multiple connections to people and churches and philosophies and all that, cultures and all that kind of stuff, integrate in their mind and their experiences. And so one person can't say, I am just blah, blah, blah. A lot of times they have connected to others too. And so when I talk to people, I'm talking to them as learning what it is they are going through, what is their theology. And sometimes there's like 5, 6 different denominations wrapped up in one. And I can separate them out and figure them out, but they just see it as their own denomination that they belong to. It's kind of interesting.
Well, when you say Christ-centric, people, when I grew up, I don't know about you guys, so I'll just speak from my perspective, but that, people get too, in my opinion, get a little too caught up on the literalism of the Christ story, in the sense that it's about the physical reincarnation, or the physical, not reincarnation, sorry, resurrection. It's about that, and that's proof that God exists. And it's like, okay, and it's all about that, full stop. And you don't really need to look any deeper other than that is the maximal authority that integrates humanity with the divine, that Christ is the estuary of the divine to humanity. And that's really important to integrate into your into the way you think about the world, in my opinion, because that's the only way you can really love each other. Is that there's so much fragmentation, there's no way for us to all be connected other than knowing that we all come from the same source. And that's the essence of Christ. Like, Christ to me is more of and I got this from Rudolf Steiner's work, that it's a thought pattern that, and not just a thought pattern, but it is a pattern that had to be introduced into this world in order for us to reconnect with the divine in a collective sense. Something had to be the gateway to create the idea or the notion in our minds and our hearts that we are, and make us wake up and realize that we are actually all connected together from divine source. We have to be, but we've never really, but before it was all about, well, you're in this tribe, you're in that tribe, you're in this group and that group. And we're still sorting that out. And that's where this hyper fragmentation is spinning off out of. But I think what we're coming into, and I said this over the text message, EM said this, but he didn't say this. He said, John Campbell, I think, the philosopher, Joseph Campbell, that he foresaw that eventually, once this rampancy of thought forms run to its extreme, it's going to leave no room for a free thinking individual other than in themselves, or not in themselves, but to take radical responsibility for themselves. And through that gateway, you will realize that we're all in the same boat together, and that will open up the door of Christ, love, whatever you want to, like, the connection between everybody. That the world's gotten so chaotic and fragmented that the only way out is for each and every one of us to take radical responsibility for ourselves, for our world, for everything. And that will connect us back again to divine source. And that requires action.
Yeah, Jesus even tells us that he is the vine, we are the branches, we bear the fruit, and we're grafted into this. And he wasn't talking about the people of his day. He was talking about the world.
You know about the tree of life.
The minds.
Go ahead, sorry.
Which blew the minds of those who are listening and hearing. They're like, but we're the only descendants of Abraham.
Right.
You know, there's no one else. We're the chosen. We're all this kind of stuff. And he goes, I have sheep that are not of this flock that I'm going to go get and bring.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was radically trying to change their mindset that you're not the only ones here. There's a world full of people that I created that are mine, and I'm going to get them back.
That's right. Like any good dad would.
Yeah.
Any good father.
He came in, incarnated, the divine and human, integrated together. Speaking of that, saying, I am, before all this stuff happened, I knew David, I knew all this, and I'm here right now, and I also know the future, and I am your future, and I will bring it all together, and I will bring back what is actually mine, which was stolen.
I wonder if he was not speaking, if Yeshua was not speaking from the ego, that he was speaking from Christ perspective, which Christos is a Roman or Latin word, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way I always described it to people, and I could be wrong about this is just how I always thought of it, like the cross is the intersection of the divine with the physical across time and space. And we're right in the middle, and that's the Christ. We're at the intersection of everything. The human being is the vessel of the human being is has the potential of being the vessel of Christ. You know, you hear about all these crazy people, and a lot of them do go crazy because when you awaken to that, you may take it too literally and think that you are literally Jesus Christ. Like you hear that all the time, right? Like, oh, I am the Christ. I've come back to bring back life and love, and they actually believe it.
Yeah.
Now, they may not be mature enough or understand what they're talking about. Do you have any examples of that? Like, you know, from a psychological, like, you know, people like that. Have you encountered that? Like,
Yeah, I've encountered quite a few people that have that mindset. They are diagnosed with different diagnoses. I'm trying to remember what those terms are.
probably
Uh,
schizophrenia.
or-
Schizophrenia is a huge one.
Yeah.
What I thought was great is thinking about that. My dad worked in a prison for like almost 20 years. And so his first name is Gerald. On his t-shirt it would say G Bakewell, right? And people would ask him, what does the G stand for? And he'd say God.
Nice.
And this guy was schizophrenic in one of his housing units.
Oh,
And he walks up to him and he's like, I'm Jesus. And he goes, okay. He goes, I'm Jesus. I'm the second coming of Jesus. He can't be. He goes, why not? You're not my son and I'm God. And he's like, and the guy just stands there stunned and he's like, oh, well, let me go think on that one.
that's
you can't be. I'm God. You can't.
you gotta
you're not
out
my
crazy
son.
the crazy. You gotta I'll one up you on that one. How about this?
Yeah, you can't be Jesus. You're not my son.
I love that Corey's not laughing. He's like,
I've met quite a few individuals, and one said, "Hey, the TV told me to cut off my hand, so I did. The voices in my head told me to do this and that," and I was like, "So if
And
those
they
voices
did?
ever..."
How come they never tell them to pay off
Hold
my
on.
car?
Let me finish the
Oh.
story. This is super important. Why I'm not laughing. I asked the guy, so if those voices tell you to harm me, would you tell me first? He goes, yeah. Okay. All right. I'm in a different level. I work adult behavior health and pediatric behavior health. And so I met quite a few individuals. I'm like, okay, there's a reason why they're here. There's a reason why there's meds. And when you're talking about this Jesus effect, what end would they take with that? And that's the scary part, because you don't know, they don't know until the voices or the voices, whatever it is, tells them and they enact upon it. One guy, they call him Lefty.
oh my God.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my God.
And other people have other things that they've done to themselves just because the voice tells them to do. Yeah.
What do you think about thoughts?
What do I think about thoughts?
What do you
What
think about thoughts?
Yeah. What are
Well-
they? Where do they come from? Are they yours?
Okay, we've gone to this point now.
Okay, so when it comes to thinking thoughts, are they mine? Are they someone else's? Or are they organic, inorganic? It depends on most individuals, because I believe that there are people that are possessed. So is it their thoughts? No. Are they having conversations with other voices and that kind of stuff? Yes. There is one person that got diagnosed with multiple personalities. Have you ever heard of that?
Mhm.
Yeah. I was told that is very hard to diagnose. Not everyone can have that, because you really have to have something happen to you or whatever it is to be able to do that.
Real
So
real
you're more
fast.
than just. So you're more than just a Gemini.
Oh. So with those,
Sorry.
there is whatever number of personalities in that mind, they're speaking. And one is actually in there, they can interact, but they can only interact between you and I, one-on-one. They all can't interact together. And this one person would blink, come back up as another person. And so if you wanted a specific person, you had to wait for each one of those changes. So you have those. Then you have what we're thinking is organic thoughts. Is it the subconscious trying to understand and to digest what our reality is, what our encounters have been for the day or whatever it is? That, I think that is that's true, but you're trying to analyze subconsciously what's going on, and is it organic? I think it's reflective. And then you have those that are able to have these philosophical or forward thinking ideas off of some kind of ideology or framework that they can push further than what we're able to have today. Kind of like Epcot, where they're like, the future of the day is going to be looking like this. And they created a whole rail that took you through what the future is going to be like.
And
The
it's
idea
a dome.
of,
And it's a dome.
yeah. The Flintstones and what was the asteroid? The
Jetsons.
Flintstones, Jetsons. The Flintstones were on the Earth. The Jetsons were up in the air, and so
because
someone
they polluted
created
the Earth, so they had to get up out of the
duality.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I went to. Oh, you're right. Huh.
Yeah. So when we're thinkings, we're talking about that. It is super complicated and super deep because there's some people that are very shallow. There's other people that you're like, how did you come up with this stuff? How did you move from where you are now to this? And how they get there, is it an outside entity inside them, or is it something whispered to them, or is their brain just somehow something went and it wired itself for it? And to have those conversations or those thinkings, or your perceived conversation is you're watching or engaging in something that's happening in your mind, and you are trying to understand it, and you come up with it. So it's uh, a conversation is flowing through, and you are trying to engage into it to elicit information. Because there's people that have these conversations with the president, with God, and all that kind of stuff, but they're doing it in a meditative state.
Right.
So this is super complicated.
No,
And I don't.
What did
I
you
don't think I even
open?
need
You
an
opened
answer to this
Pandora's
question.
box here, man. What did you get us into,
So, Colin,
What?
can you agree
Yeah.
that I haven't really answered this question because
I mean, it's like you said, it's an incredibly complicated question. But so a part of it is who's the one asking the question, and this is where the thought that came to me was that it's kind of an observant, quiet one, and I'm not sold on it like 100%, but I suspect that I don't want to say everyone is schizophrenic, but everyone is capable of being schizophrenic in what we call schizophrenic. That we don't understand. If you don't understand who you are and stand by it and know it, like intrinsically, this is why tradesmen tend to be pretty based, because they deal with things on a physical basis and it grounds them to the physical realities of things instead of just thought or ideas, where that are a little elusive and all over, and they can go anywhere you want. But who's the one asking the question of who are you?
Yeah.
That was
And Ian Burlingame said that it's the right and left. When they start having conversations, there's something going on because they're not supposed to talk. In his
Oh, the brain.
conversation with us, with the brain, the right and the left hemisphere, and when they do start talking, it's like, oh, that's not supposed to happen. Remember
Well,
that?
it's supposed to, but we've been trained out of it. Is I think what he was trying to say, that we've gotten hyper focused on one side or the other, and they're naturally conducive to like testosterone and estrogen, as what we call those hormones. One is more of a targeting reticle, and then another is more of an analyzing system. And they're naturally predisposed for those different roots, which is why God gave us women, and God gave women men, was to help, because we create, it's almost like we're not supposed to know it all, but we can kind of use each other as reference points, that instead just I mean I've learned that. I mean, anyone who's been married that actually wants to love their wife and love their children has to go through a humbling phase, which I've been going through constantly, just and just like, what does it mean to love my wife? Because I want to, but how do I actually do it and not be making stuff up? And this is a microcosm of the macrocosm, right? This is this is the whole universe. Like, you can't, but it's, but going back, I got sidetracked. The who is asking the question is really, you've encountered this. You've gone through, different, theological streams or philosophies and ways of thinking. How much do you put into the idea that the ego it's a necessary tool, but it's not really what we are? But you have to go through the ego to find the divine, because it's your grounding point, in a sense. That the ego is what creates stasis for you. It allows you to build a life, to physically build a life, to not go off and think you're Jesus Christ or something, and start, and do things that are not grounded in something you actually built up. But at the same time, if you rely on it too much, you get a little bit too left brain or right, but whatever, segment of what, it doesn't matter. Just whatever dual portion of the mind is obsessed in, not obsessed, but in creating the character of who you are, that you eventually realize it's a character. It's not as real as we think it is. And then that, to me, is the Christ impulse, is the awareness of that we're all playing different roles, but we're all unified in the same conscience experience, the same experience that God set forth, or source set forth, this whole universe, this whole aquarium. That, do you see what I'm getting at? I'm not saying it
and
too
then
well.
if you look at the perceived roles, and when people are able to disassociate with their perceived roles, their mind and their consciousness shifts. And that's when people get into that area of Buddhism where they become one with the universe and stuff.
And dissolve and become nothing. And that's not good, because we have to be here.
Yeah. And, we're building this personality since inception, and we're growing to who we are and what we're going to be here in our environment in the womb. Then when we get out of the womb, we're going to have to figure out who we are, what destination are we, or destiny do we have, and so how do we configure all that, but with a conscious. And Holy Spirit is supposed to to be that, and we don't see it, but we know the effects of it. And so working within that realm, and some people don't, they say they don't have a conscience, they don't have that that block of impulse, and they function and form in a different way. Yet we're trying to perceive and trying to understand and analyze who we are and what we are in the system, and how do we interact meaningfully? How do we interact and figure out what that position that we are in life? Jordan Peterson talks about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Frankel, really brought a lot of those things out. And how do we go from trying to survive to thrive? How do we go to making that which is in our mind find some kind of a wholeness, some kind of a purpose, some kind of meaning, making meaning,
Yeah.
and interact with that and have this kind of feeling of positivity and not negative. How do we move forward? And is it that divine, or is it something else? There's definitely that divine in us, because when we interact with the divine, we know exactly who the divine is, what the divine looks like. So we are predisposed with that knowledge and information. Yet, unless we are engaged into that or see it, we don't know. There's a lot of people around the world through decades that have been engaging with the divine for whatever reason it is. He's been showing up, and they know exactly who he is, just like Nebuchadnezzar did when Shadrach, Meshach were thrown in the fire furnace. He knew who the divine was. And so that's in that, it's supplanted. And how do you recognize and how do you interact with that knowledge? And it doesn't come alive until the divine interacts with us
This is a bit
in
of a
a meaningful way.
radical idea. That I like Alan Watts a lot. I'm not going to say I agree with all of it, but he thinks so deeply that I can't, begin to even, catch up with him. But I try to. There's an idea of what if we're, and this is where that Christ complex or God complex comes from, is what if we're God and we forgot? Like a fragment of him. Like that's the whole Christian journey, is to go back to God, to go home, to find the harmony. That's like what we're
Be
trying.
one.
To be cohesive, to be holistic, to let everything flow as it should. And one of our reference points, and we're all dads, is children. They are an amazing reference point for beauty, goodness, truth,
Question.
and just in purity of soul. And just, it's like, wow, it's like, and that's why people always like, I always was like, there's that movie, The Road. You ever seen that? It's with, Viggo Mortensen. It's like a post-apocalyptic movie. It's really, really dark and good. It's a good movie. But it's hard. But it's like, actually there's a great scene that it's really short. It's with,
Okay.
Robert
So when
Duvall.
you were talking about children and how innocent and all that kind of stuff, and Jesus says to be like that, yet when we see children abused and all that kind of stuff,
Yes.
there is nothing that will enrage us more.
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
Yes.
That innocence and all that kind of stuff, it
That's what
enrages us when someone violates that.
That's what woke me up. That's what, like, why the whole Epstein thing is so pernicious. It's the whole concept of industrial child abuse.
Yeah. And to go back to that mindset, that state of mind as a child, and have that father that you can look up to and connect with, that's a protector. A lot of people are looking to that, and they're like, but that doesn't exist anymore because I'm no longer a child, I'm an adult. I have to do this and this and this. yet there is that that God that still does that. And so we're trying to rational and understand that it seems like the irrational, but yet that childlike mind just like actually gets it.
This is a perfect example. I'm going to play. It's 5 minutes, but
Got it?
it's
5
yeah.
minutes.
Sorry,
Good.
but
After this, we're gonna have to wrap it up. So, just saying, we're getting close to that time.
Hi,
Is this Russia?
honey, my ass.
No.
Oh, you tell people so they don't hurt you? Uh-huh. Work?
a
Oh.
nuclear war happened, basically. And the world's dying.
What's your name?
It's like disconnection pushing away right there.
Yeah, it's an old man they found, and the kid wanted to give him food.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, Robert
Amazing
Duvall.
actor.
Yeah.
Perceived danger.
That always gets me. Love that movie. Ooh. Yeah, that's heavy. Ooh. Anyway, all done, Cody.
Oh, okay.
Unless anyone has anything else to add, I don't. I can't after that. That's too real. Ugh.
And people live those lives here in the world. And we haven't gone through a nuclear holocaust and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've gone through our own tragedies and that kind of stuff. And as fathers, unless there's something inside that's wired differently, we protect. We'll protect our offspring.
We protect that spark.
Yeah. Continuous spark down the road.
Yep.
It's built in.
Yep.
Yep. No matter what.
That's what we're going to do. No matter what.
That's what we're doing.
Yep.
So if you've gotten this far, you've seen Colin cry now.
I'm not
see
crying.
Cody cry
a little bit.
Yeah. Still wait for that chaplain, that bald advisor to cry.
I'll get you.
Yeah. Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Maybe not, honestly, dude. You're cold. you got ice cold in your veins, like ice cold water in your veins at this point.
He learns how to shut that part of his life off because of his job.
That's why. Yeah. Oof.
Well, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share the channel. Don't forget
thumbs
to
up.
Drop into the Patreon and see how you can support us and to move us forward. And Cody, you got some good news that came across this week and last week, right?
Oh yeah,
we were able
to get enough views to make the channel somewhat, not fully, but somewhat monetized. We can get page super chats and gifts. I guess they have some kind of a gift system. I haven't figured it out, but we also have you can join the channel's membership too. There's a membership available through the channel now, and that'll help support the YouTube channel. We need to get another 100.
If you buy in our merchandise store, we just need 3 people buy at least one thing per person. What happens?
Oh, on Amazon, we had enough views through Amazon. That if we put up affiliates links, so like Amazon links, we'll have the books that Corey wants to link in the description, or Colin and Corey. Then if you click on those and we get 3 individuals to buy the books or whatever we link in our description, then we get verified through Amazon, and we can start getting paid through them too for stuff we list on our YouTube channel.
And I got a book up on Amazon that you can buy. It's not very expensive, but it's powerful, and it helps people find themselves and find their direction in God, relationships. So if you want to check that out, help us support it by buying that book. I greatly appreciate that.
What's the title? I didn't.
The Attitude Adjustment. And you just put in my name into Amazon. Corey
his
Zimmerman,
link,
pop
his
up.
link will be in the description, so you can go straight
There
to
we
it
go.
and buy the
Yeah.
book through our link.
Make it easy, guys.
Yeah,
Click on that link,
bam.
and they'll help us.
I'm gonna do
Exactly.
that. Yeah. No, I have this weekend off. I'll add more to the list this weekend. So
Well, that's
I did
about
not.
time you
and
got
then
off a
that book.
weekend.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, and then we need more Patreon subscriber
We
type
still
people.
need 5 more Patreon subscribers, and then the T-shirt giveaway will happen.
Yes.
We have new T-shirts on there. We also have what they call what some call them fishing shirts, others call them UV shirts. I've been hiking a lot, so I made myself some UV shirts to wear out in the sun. It's really good when I found out they're really good shirts to work on outside because you don't get sunburned so bad. And
And they're
being
wicking.
oh yeah, and they keep you
All the
really
sweat
cool.
away.
Yeah,
Keep
so
you
we
cooler.
got a couple of those shirts up there now. A bunch of other stuff, cell phone holders and cell phone chargers and all kinds of fun stuff. So go ahead and check that out on or Printify. The link will be in the description right next to Corey's book. So go ahead and check all those out, guys. So I think that's it.
Any more? If anyone has any questions or guest recommendations, we're always open to that. So
Yeah, you
and
can directly
Dads,
message
wake
us.
up. Dads, wake up. We need you.
We've always needed you. You've always been needed.
Oh, okay.
There
So
you
on
go.
that, gentlemen, it's been fun to have you on this impromptu. We didn't even think Corey was going to be here. He had a long day doing his politician stuff. So it was nice to see him
that was
show up.
awesome. I really needed that. That was really good. Thank you.
Yeah,
We
thank
need to
you
start
for,
charging Colin for these therapy sessions. I'm telling you. So
Come on. I bring value.
So yeah. Okay. So.
Right.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right, you guys
hopefully,
have a good...
in standby. Hopefully next Monday we'll have a special guest. I'm really looking forward to getting on. I've been trying to get him on the last week or two. We keep having conflicts in scheduling, so look forward.
We
to
need
the
local
special
New
guest.
Mexican politicians to come on.
Corey, you're in that realm. Why don't you hook a brother up with some politicians?
Working on it.
We'll even talk to Democrats. So you
I'd love
can
to
bring
talk to
them on here too.
Democrats. Yeah.
What?
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I actually like Democrats. Anyway, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So there you go, Colin. Thanks. That's the one thing we needed at the very end here. So
Yeah, I actually like that. I do though. They have to have just real quick, just as a follow on, they have to have some they're driven. Maybe misguided,
Off a
but they at
cliff.
least are driven. You know, I like drive. So
yeah.
All right. Bye con Dios, amigos.
All right. Catch you guys later. See you guys next week. Stand by for a cool interview and we'll catch up with you guys later. Bye.